They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. That, if you look closely enough, you can see a person's history, their warmth, their fire reflected in the light. But what happens when you look and there is no light? When you search for a story, a flicker of feeling, and find only a vast, quiet stillness. We are taught to fear anger or to brace for sadness. But the silence behind someone's gaze, the emptiness where emotion should live, can be far more unsettling. It is one of the most misunderstood psychological states, often mistaken for calmness or depth, when in reality, it is a sign of a profound internal absence. This is not about the quiet person. This is about the person who has gone quiet inside. Let us begin. You have seen them. Perhaps on a train, staring at a fixed point that is not really there. Perhaps across a dinner table, smiling at the right moments, but the smile never reaches the space behind their eyes. We are taught to read faces, to seek confirmation in another's gaze. When that confirmation is absent, a quiet alarm rings in our subconscious. We sense the void. We mistake it for calm. We might even envy their stillness, projecting our own fantasies of a mind untroubled by the chaos we feel inside. But look closer. That stillness is not peace. It is freezing. It is the landscape of a person who has learned that feeling is unsafe. Their eyes are not empty because they have nothing to feel. They are empty because they have felt too much for too long, with nowhere for it to go. The light has not vanished. It has been buried so deep that even they have forgotten it was ever there. It is the face of someone who has become a stranger to their own inner world. How does a person become hollow? It is rarely the result of one dramatic event, though that can be the final stone that breaks the dam. More often, it is the water. The constant, relentless drip of invalidation. The slow erosion of self in a relationship where you are never quite seen. The daily grind of performing happiness when you are drowning. It is the child who learned that crying brought punishment, not comfort. The adult who learned that sharing their truth led to conflict, not connection. So, the river of emotion keeps flowing, but instead of being expressed, it is absorbed. It wears down the interior. The vibrant, reactive self is slowly smoothed into a pebble, hard, silent, and immovable. You watch your own life from behind a glass wall. You can see the shapes of joy and sorrow moving on the other side, but you cannot hear them. You cannot feel their texture. This is the cost of survival. You traded the pain of feeling for the safety of nothing. And nothing, you are beginning to realize, has a weight of its own. This emptiness is not a choice. It is a strategy of the nervous system, a final, brilliant, and devastating act of self-preservation. When the mind is subjected to overwhelming stress, it can deploy a defense mechanism called dissociation. Think of it as a circuit breaker. The emotional load becomes too heavy, threatening to burn the house down, so the brain trips the switch. It numbs the pain, it mutes the fear. It creates distance between the self and the experience. Functionally, the areas of the brain responsible for emotional recognition and expression, the anterior insula, the limbic system, begin to dim. The face, that canvas of the soul, goes slack because the signals to paint upon it are no longer being sent. The eyes become windows to an empty room because the lights are off to save energy. It is a brilliant adaptation. It allows you to walk through fire without feeling the burn. But when the fire is gone, the lights often stay off. You are left in the cold, safe from the flames, but unable to find your way back to the warmth. There is a strange, cruel paradox in living with empty eyes. You become an expert at disappearing in plain sight. In a world that rewards emotional efficiency, your lack of visible turmoil can be mistaken for strength. People lean on you because you never seem to break. They confide in you because you never react with judgment. You become a vessel for everyone else's feelings, a silent keeper of secrets, because your own vessel appears so empty. But this invisibility is its own kind of prison. You watch the world from the outside, longing for the very chaos you worked so hard to silence. You see others fight, cry, laugh until they cry, and you feel a quiet ache for a feeling that's sharp. The question becomes, if you turn the lights back on, will the pain return too? Is it worth feeling everything just to feel something? This is the resistance. The fear that the silence, as lonely as it is the only home you have left. To feel again feels like a risk you are no longer sure how to take. And then something shifts. It is never a thunderclap. It is a crack, a tiny, almost imperceptible fracture in the wall. It might be a piece of music you have not heard since you were young, a melody that bypasses your defenses and lands directly in your chest. It might be a stranger on a screen, crying a tear that somehow mirrors one you forgot you had. It might be a moment of unexpected kindness that is so pure, so undeserved, that it breaks something loose. For a moment, the numbness thins. A sliver of sensation cuts through. It might be sadness. It might be a flash of anger. It might simply be a single hot tear that escapes before you can will it back. It is terrifying. It is also, undeniably, alive. This crack is not a sign of weakness. It is the first sign of life in a landscape you thought was barren. It is proof that the soul is still there, just hidden, waiting for permission to feel the rain again. Healing from this kind of emotional absence is not about becoming a different person. It is about slowly, gently, reclaiming the one you buried. It is an act of reacquaintance. You start by tolerating the small feelings, the annoyance at a cold cup of coffee, the quiet contentment of a warm blanket. You sit with them just for a moment before the urge to shut down takes over. You learn that feeling safe does not have to mean feeling nothing. You begin to let others see the cracks, not as flaws, but as openings. You let them witness your hesitation, your awkwardness with joy, your clumsiness with grief. And in their patient witnessing, the light starts to creep back in. The eyes, once empty, begin to hold something new. Not the old fire, perhaps, but something softer. A glimmer of recognition, a flicker of presence. You realize you were never truly empty. You were just waiting for the right conditions to feel safe enough to let the world see you again. If this reflection touches a quiet place inside you, if you've ever looked in the mirror and wondered where the feeling in your own eyes has gone, know that you are not broken. You are not your numbness. You are simply a person who has weathered a storm, and your stillness is not a void. It is a deep, patient waiting. If you would like to stay connected with a space that honors these hidden corners of the human heart, consider subscribing. Here, we do not offer fixes, only reflections. And if something in this video stirred a memory, a feeling, or a thought you would like to give voice to, you are welcome to share it in the comments. Not for us, but for the person who might read it and realize they are not alone in their silence. Be gentle with yourself today. You have been through enough. You deserve to feel the sun again. We'd love to hear from you. If you're watching till the end, drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. And if any part of this reflection felt personal to you, your story matters here. Please share with us. And if you're new, consider subscribing to PSYCHE. There's always more to explore together.